Are you ready for a reboot? Welcome to the Sheila Mac Show, reality at its finest. History reminds us those hit hardest often become the change makers. This year, we've all hit crazy economic, social, and emotional rock bottoms. We all get knocked down. Something hits globally, locally, personally. It affects our health, finances, our relationships. We have to recreate a business or career. Each show, Sheila and her special guest will be sharing their reboot stories, guiding you with real solutions to upgrade and up-level emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually, and financially. Here on NBC's KCAA Radio. If you're ready to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and bra straps, enjoy a listen. Here's Sheila.
Welcome to the Sheila Mac Show, reality at its finest. Here we have real people sharing real stories and actionable steps to help you reinvent, rebuild, and reboot your business and personal life on your terms. I'm your host, Sheila Mac, and today we have Dr. Chau, a PhD and MBA graduate with an immigrant who aspired to live an American dream. He attempted various enterprises in an effort to attain financial freedom, which he did not achieve as a result of his traditional education. So he engaged in the real estate market, but it was with this corporate housing arbitrage that he was able to achieve financial freedom and retire in his early 30s. He has since mentored over 100 students to attain their financial freedom through corporate housing arbitrage, trying to fulfill his mission to help others in achieving financial independence. All right, welcome to the show, Dr. Chau.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, and one of the things I like to ask is, this show is actually based on my new best-selling book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. And so I'd love for you to share to the audience about a time in your business or personal life where you experienced a tough situation and how you got back on track.
Yes, absolutely. So we experienced tough situation all our lives, right? Especially coming from an immigrant background, from a third world background. When I came here with nothing, literally, and we all four of us slept on one bed: my mom, my dad, me, my sister. So, and then it took us 2 hours each night just to look up the dictionary of what the homeboy is gonna be, not even just doing it. So I had to learning the language from scratch. So anyway, I fought through all of that, and my mom and dad sacrificed everything for us to go to college, graduated doctor and with honors and all of that, and MBA as well. I thought I made it, and then come to find out that I thought I achieved the American dream, but it's actually the American nightmare, where I was over a mountain of debt in college student loans, no way out. I was a trapped corporate slave. Basically just a dancing monkey with not a lot of freedom, and I had to determine to find a way out.
Yes. Wow.
Yes. So with that's when I did all kind of entrepreneurs enterprises to try to find a way to get financial freedom. However, everything out there either take a lot of time or a lot of money, which I did not have. So that's when I came across the idea of arbitrage, which means I rent out property long term and I sublet it out on Airbnbs and corporate housing to companies to make the difference and providing values to the companies as well. So that's when I exploded my business and got almost passive income. So working just a few hours a week, making many times what I made as a pharmacist before. So that's when everything changed for me.
That's incredible. Wow. So how, my first question, all right, so I'm an Airbnb super host, but I own my property. So how do you manage to negotiate a lease to sublet or do the Airbnb?
Yeah, absolutely. So congratulations, Superhost is awesome, right? Now, what we tell people, we do corporate housing. We don't just do Airbnb. So we help companies to host their staff, right? When they have a big project or they have some properties that they need to work on or some business they got to work on. So we're going to take care of the property very well. We're going to maintain it super well because it's our business. And we get to, clean every few months, a lot of time every month, depending on how long they stay. And then we're also gonna, just it's like small maintenance. We're just gonna pay for it. We're not gonna bother you as a landlord. So when you combine all of that together, and we have a track record over 100 properties nationwide. Here's our partners. Here's our website. Here's our partner website. Combined 20 years experience. So when you come with that approach, it's a lot easier to get clients that way, because I guarantee you, like, if you're a traditional landlord, nobody else is offering all of these above that I mentioned, right?
Right. That is for sure. Yes, I've been a landlady, I guess, for many, many years. Bought my first triplex when I was 19 years old. So for me, that was a big deal. I would love to have a tenant like that. So I could see where that makes sense. Yeah, I would totally agree to that. So
Yeah.
that's incredible. Now, when you first started out and you're like your first arbitrage experience, what was that really difficult, or what was that like?
Yeah, absolutely. So it was definitely difficult. The first one is always the hardest one, right? So I didn't know what I was doing. I just rented an apartment actually,
Uh-huh.
and in my own name, and you're not supposed to do this, but I didn't tell them that I was subletting either.
Uh,
I
yeah,
was just kind of testing it out, try to
right.
see if it worked. So it worked, and then I did the second one, did the third one, and then eventually just scaled it up. Now I have over 30. So definitely now is a lot more professional. We tell them upfront. We have the clause in the contract, in the agreement, and we have everything set up and going. So
Nice. Nice. That's incredible. So now there's a difference for those listening in. There's a difference between like a traditional vacation rental and the corporate vacation rentals. So could you explain that difference for the listeners a little bit more?
yeah, absolutely. So the vacation rental is when they stay for just a few nights,
Mhm.
whereas the corporate housing is they stay for a few months at a time.
Yeah.
So that is the biggest difference. It will save you 10 times less time and less energy, less work. The other thing is you're dealing with B2B versus B2C. So
Yeah.
B2B is a lot better, business to business.
Hmm.
So we're dealing with higher clientele. So out of the 7 years I've been doing this, over 30 plus properties, out of my corporate rental, how many evictions do you think I had?
Oh, none.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That is a dream came true for any landlord, right?
Right. For
No
sure.
evictions. They always pay on time, and they pay for the damages, and they pay for what you ask for most of the time. So,
Mm. Yeah.
right?
Yes.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just night and day basically.
That makes sense.
Vacation, I love them, right? I want great memories. However, it's a lot of work when you manage like 30 vacation, for example, right? Just too much. And then you got parties, you got maybe some drinking, some
Yes.
people having fun, too much fun. So it's a big difference. That's a lot much better for when you're dealing with corporate clients. And the other thing also is not just companies, but insurance housing, where families need a place to stay when their home get damaged. So,
Oh,
for example, if you live in anywhere that got flooding, got tornado, any kind of natural disaster,
right.
the when their home get damaged, they need a place to stay. The
Mhm.
family, so the insurance will pay, and they pay very well, right?
Yes. Yes.
So, and where they gonna stay? They're gonna stay. They want a home, right? They
Right.
don't want to stay in hotel forever, for a long time. So that's why we provide housing for those families during the time of their need, and it's a very fulfilling mission as well to help them.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yes. Well, I remember I lost my home in a Ventura, California fire, and I was one of those very displaced people. So it was a difficult time, and that's important. So there's a way for you to structure it so you just get corporate housing and emergency housing insurance based
Yes.
on the platform. Oh, wow. Now, I did have travel nurses, and
Mm-hmm.
I think that probably fell under the corporate, and
Yeah.
they would stay 3 months to a year, and sometimes, and then the next travel nurse would come out. So that was nice because they kept everything perfect, and it was easy. You know, we had the cleaning people go once a week to make sure everything's nice, and they paid very well. So that does make a big difference. And when I was doing traditional Airbnb, oh my gosh, we had some big parties that weren't good for the neighbors. And so that was a problem. And that's my own homes that I was renting out, my own properties that, you know, cause a problem for sure. So that's important. Now, I would love to learn a little bit more about the course, how you're mentoring people, how people can learn from you. How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a coaching program, Mastermind, where we only invite people who, that we interview and make sure it's a good fit. We don't just accept everybody, but once you accept it, you're basically part of the family. So we have online modules that they can access on the online courses. Then that they get access to that for life. The coaching, they're gonna get 4 group coaching mastermind calls every single week. Where they go on a Zoom and it's face to face, and it's a lot more intimate setting. So, people help everybody and you have a lot of support. On top of that, you also get one-on-one support from my coaches. I have 2 full-time coaches that have a lot of experience and a lot of Airbnb's business under their name already. And you get their phone number. You can text, call, Zoom them anytime. It's unlimited one-on-one during your coaching period, which is unheard of, right? Usually it's a very limited amount. So we gave ample support because I haven't heard any program similar to ours that offer 4 group coaching, not just once a week, but 4 times a week, plus unlimited one-on-one coaching. We want to over deliver in everything we do, and we'll make sure you're taken care of, get your questions answered, all of that. On top of that, you get to belong to a group of mastermind of amazing entrepreneurs, right, that can help each other out doing the same thing that you are doing on a bigger scale. A lot of them on bigger scale, a lot of them just starting out, and you can give a hand. You can give a hands up to somebody, and somebody else can give you a hands up to lift you up as well on your next level. So, like you and I, we know each other from Tony Robbins Platinum Group, right? So we are who we hang around with, right? Our net worth is our network. So It's very important to mastermind with like-minded individuals, especially in a higher caliber of peer group. So that way we can all up our game and grow together.
Yes, definitely. Wow, that's incredible. And that sounds like a very good program. Now, I know we talk about Tony a lot, and so in that group, it's just incredible. But there's this thing that he talks about often that's called the limiting belief. So, what do you face with new clients or new people you're working with? What is the limiting belief that keeps them stuck?
Yeah, the limiting belief is that getting financial freedom take a long time,
Mm,
or like buying the homes take a long time, or it's so tough to get financial freedom. But what if I can tell you you can get financial freedom within months instead of years,
hmm
right?
Yeah.
Why don't we just, like, a mind is like a parachute. It can only work when it's open,
Yes.
right? So let's open our mind up, and let's just ask you a few questions, right? For the average American, I think people would agree that $10,000 a month would over exceed most of their expenses, correct?
Yes.
So if you have more than your income, your cash flow on a monthly basis, more than your expenses, you basically have financial freedom, right?
Hmm.
Right.
That's true.
So if you just look at $10,000 a month, now on average we make $2,000 per property. So you only need like 5 properties, okay? And on average, our average students can do 2 a month, which is never very, very normal. So let's just say you do 2 a month. That's
Mhm.
only take you like 2.5 months. I give you 3 months to
Yeah.
get 5, right? So the 5, remember, you're only renting it to rent. You're not buying anything. You're not rehabbing anything. You
Right.
it is rent ready, and you make money on like week 1, pretty much.
That's incredible because I own everything. So it's like I did the rehab,
Yeah,
I did all the old school way, and
right.
it's nice in its own merit because I have appreciation and write-offs, and
Yeah.
there's some on the books that's good for that. But on the other side of things, this is opening my mind to
Yeah.
something I wasn't even aware that's so much easier.
Right.
And the landlord, the people that own the property are grateful,
Yes.
and you're all above board doing the right contracts, which I'm sure you help people with all that legal stuff to do it
Yes.
properly.
Yes.
And that is incredible. That is a
Yes.
game changer. The hardest part is buying into the properties and doing all that.
Right. And rehabbing, make it rent ready. It take like sometimes 6 months to a year, right? So when you got to put so much effort, so much energy into it. Did you know that with one property that you buy and rehab, let's say you invest like how much did you put it of your own cash on the last property?
I put in, well, I've done really well. But I bought a little, this is my best investment that I did. I paid 35,000,
Oh, that's good.
a prefab up in the canyons in California, and split it into 3 units and
Mhm.
rented those. And that was paying about 8,000 a month. Six
Oh,
to eight, eight, 6 on the slow months, but usually
yeah.
8. I had people that had their honeymoons in this prefab house,
Right.
had a yoga deck, but I put about 4 or 5,000 into fixing it, making it really pretty,
Sure.
all that stuff. And then eventually, because it was in a community, they didn't allow it in that area anymore. So then I sold it
Uh-huh.
and exchanged to another property. So that I spent, let's say 40,000 out the door for
Okay.
everything. I made that money for about 3 years or so, and then I sold for 291,000.
Awesome.
I did very good with that, but
Yes.
I'm a real estate agent also with Keller
Yeah.
Williams Beverly Hills, and so I find the deals, that kind of thing, and I help my clients do that. But
Yeah.
that's something, most of the time people would put that much down on a
Right.
property
Exactly.
maybe.
Exactly. So on average, because you have a lot of skill set, a lot of experience, which is great. On average, let's say you put $100,000 down, right?
Yeah.
Just make easy math. For $100,000 down to buy a home, you can do about 10 sublet. Now, if you do 10 sublet, you make about 10 times the cash flow. So
Mhm.
that you can make about 20,000 a month. Okay,
Yeah,
instead of just 2,000 a month.
that
So with 20,000 a month, most Americans, most people in the world actually can live a life of financial freedom, right? I mean,
yes.
if you imagine $20,000 every single month coming in right now, right?
Mhm.
Nobody really have to work the 9 to 5 at all, right?
Right.
So that's what I've been want to tell people is that just get financial free first, make
Mhm.
that money, make 10, 20, 30, 50K, whatever it is that you want right away, very fast, so that you can take care of your parents like I did, buy them
Yeah.
dream home, right? Retire them, right? Or take care of your kids, travel, go to the most beautiful beaches. Like I just got back from Bahamas, hang out with the Tony Robbins crew,
Yeah.
went to see Richard Branson on
Mhm.
the yacht, right? Hang out with Grant Cardone. This past month, I hang out with 3 of my heroes this past month,
Wow. Yeah.
right? So you can do all that cool things because you have the cash flow. It's all about cash flow. Cash flow is king, right?
Mhm.
Get that. Once you get the financial freedom, then go and take that money and invest in real estate. Of
That's
course,
right.
buy the home, buy as much as you can, right?
Yeah.
However, most people uh, they struggle so much because they don't know the way out, and they're trying to buy the home to get to financial freedom, which will take
Oh,
for
yeah. Yeah.
right.
That's,
It-
really, I traveled for 7 years with, learning from Tony and doing all these incredible things with everyone else out there, and, full-time travel, took my teens out of school, and they did, independent study and traveled with incredible people that you could never study with. It was beautiful, and it was because of the passive income
yeah,
coming in, and, you know, that I can't make those memories. I couldn't get those back if I didn't have that cash flow and it was passive, so I could play with my kids and do all these incredible fun things, or I would just be stuck working. And it changed their life. It
mhm,
was such a beautiful gift for our family, but we did put a lot of hard work to be able to do that, to
yeah,
build that. And this is your route is just easier.
Yes.
I like easier. I mean, like I wish this was available when I was younger and started out, because they didn't have
Yeah.
all this back then. They didn't have
Yeah.
vacation rentals and so many things that we have now.
Right. Yes. Easier, faster. Right.
Yes.
Here's
Now,
the thing:
oh,
does Airbnb own any properties?
nope.
And is it the biggest hospitality company in the world? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Does Uber own any car?
Yes.
No. Right. So the world is changing, right? So we just gotta adapt and change with it, so that way we can capitalize on this wave, right? And then the end game is still own a bunch of real estate. That is still the end game. Don't get me wrong, right? However, no amount of money, no amount of real estate can replace the memories that you made with your kids, right?
Yes, that's so true. And now I have a beautiful dream
So
home.
what if make that?
Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Your film went out for.
Yeah, go ahead.
I own a beautiful home, a vacation home, but I waited. Like we lived in the smallest part of the units and rented everything out. You know what I mean? Like all these years we did like, okay, it can be a small little place. It doesn't have to be much, because we wanted to put our money into education for the children, education for ourselves, traveling, meeting people. And so and investing in properties that cash flow, rather than living in a dream home. And then you finally can have that home. And so sometimes getting the home first is really the most detrimental for investments. Now, Dr. Chau, I'd love to learn how much a person would need to even get started in something like this. Like,
So you just pay first month rent plus first month deposit plus the furniture. Okay. So basically, depending on where you live, the first month rent could be anywhere from $1,500 to $3,000. And then first month deposit is about the same as first month rent. So the whole thing about 5K ish, make easy math, 5-6K, and then the furnitures is around 6K, 5-6K, depending on where you live and all of that as well. So the whole thing is around 10 to 12K per property, and you make $2,000 a month.
No, that's not bad.
Right. So within 6 months, you make your money back.
Right.
That's like a 200% return on your money.
Yeah, it really is. That is, you can't go to work for that. That's for sure. Very few positions. And then, like you said, you're working all day and you're getting paid, but you don't have the family time to take care of yourself or learn and grow. And so it's very difficult, especially if you have young children. My gosh, you want to spend time with your children while they're young. I remember the conflict of, I have to go work. I used to run stores. Then I bought the buildings, this whole story. But my conflict was, I want to be with my children, but I want to provide for my children and give them the best, the private schools, all these beautiful things, good education, tutoring if they need it. And then the conflict was, but I want to be with them. How can I do both? And finally, when I started getting into the real estate, I was able to sell the stores, keep the buildings, rent them out, and oh my gosh, and do the travel. So for 17 years, I just worked 12, 14 hours a day, running these 5 gift stores, just working. The kids came to work. They came to after school. They come to work. Now they have a great work ethic. They know about work and how to, get things done. But all my kids are like, I want to get into real estate. In fact, my youngest son, he's now passed away. I'm glad we had the time together, but he had a heart condition. But when he went to San Jose State, he did now he didn't do it legally, I guess. But he was 19 years old and he went ahead and he rented out a home, and he had all his college buddies rent the rooms. He paid nothing. He bought himself a new car. He's like, I'm good. I got this, Mom. And so that's, because he's around that. That's just what you do. Yeah. So.
Oh, that's fantastic. And I'm very grateful to you figured out as well. And you see the financial freedom as well.
Yes.
Family, right? So, the beautiful thing about this is when you set it up, the money just keep flowing in, right? It's not like you have to go in there and exchange your time for money again, right?
Right.
So, same with my family. We done all kind of business from dry cleaners to restaurants to boba tea, right? All the traditional business that took us, working day and night and not having a lot of show for it, and so much at risk. So much at risk because you got to put up like 300, 400, $500,000 up front
No.
before we make money, and then
Yes,
got to 3 to 5 years break even.
exactly.
And 95%, statistically, 95% of business fail within the first 5 years. So it's not good stats. Whereas this is very low barrier of entry. It's just a few $1,000s, right? And then you make money right away. If you get our support and help, we will vet every single deals for you.
Yeah.
So if it's a good deal, then we tell you it's a good deal. Don't jump on it, right, Sheila? So you don't lose out on the deal. If it's a bad deal, then we say, oh, don't do that.
Yes.
10 times of pain, time and energy and all of that, right? And then we
Yes.
get sources of corporate housing where we hook up people, so that way you get the source and the money to pay the payment right away. So you get the clients. That's the most important thing, is getting the booking, right?
Right.
So all of this is set up, and that is the power of modeling. Just like what Tony said, right? You want to compress decades into days. You just model somebody that's where you want to be, and that's it. You model, mimic, and then master it, and then multiply. Yes.
That's so good. That is incredible. Now, Dr. Chau, I'd like to ask you if you could go back in time and tell your younger self something. What advice would you give the younger you? Maybe going to college. What advice would you give?
Yeah, I would give the advice of focus on yourself, personal development, uh,
Mhm.
and finding the right mentor that is where you want to be. So you got to look at them, financially, look at their values. Do they align where you want to go? Their happiness, um, all of that, right? So, our example definitely like Tony Robbins, right? So what I should have done is I would have invested everything in Tony to
Mhm.
learn, or somebody like him, right? Or somebody in real estate, whatever, right?
Right.
So way I can shortcut, like compress decades into days and get my financial freedom even faster.
Yes.
Financial free when I was 33. Very grateful for that. However, if I had done this sooner, I would have done it. I could have got financial freedom in my 20s, in
Right.
my right. Like, we got millionaires in their teens now.
I know. It's
So I I for me, college is great. However, I think much more importantly is the personal development, because the harder you work on yourself, the more you're gonna add value to society, and the more you're gonna create value, the more you're gonna live the life of your dreams and help a lot of people and be a lot more fulfilled, right?
Yes.
So yes, that's what I would tell them.
I agree 100%, and it's just so incredible. Like my daughter and I, we went to a group meeting with some of our friends from the group, and she loves the personal development because she grew up in it. All my children grew up. I adopted three of my own, so um, it. And it's just like those conversations. And then if she goes and she's in college and there's kids, young adults that are doing the partying, drink, all that, she's like, no, that's not. I have goals. I have outcomes. I want to do these things. I want to have a good life. I don't have to tell her. It's because she's around that so much that she knows, and she's able to have the discernment to say, oh, they're nice for class, fine, acquaintance, but that's not where I want to go, because I know where they're going isn't my outcome, and that is something just so beautiful. So for those listening in, if you have children or just for yourself, getting involved with the personal development, self-help, in one way or another, whether it's you're starting out, read a book, go to a seminar, there's so many online options now. And then if you're looking to get started in this arbitrage, vacation rental, corporate housing, then this is an incredible thing that you've created, Dr. Chau. Now, I'd love for you to share where people can go to find you and get involved if they want to sign up and learn more about it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. So you can go on at Dr. Chau B&B. So that's DRCHAU B&B. You can just Google me. I'm all over Instagram, TikTok. I have over 200,000 followers combined in all the platform. And Facebook group. There's a Beyond B&B Secrets is the name of the program. Beyond B&B Secrets. You can join our free Facebook group where we post daily content and we help you out, and so much free content, right? And then for those who are serious about really learning this and create a business out of it and get financial freedom, then just DM me on any of the platform, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and then we will set up a consultation with our top advisor and see if we're a good fit for each other.
All right, wonderful. Okay, well, thank you again, Dr. Chau, for being a guest on the show. And for those tuning in, we'll be back after these messages. All right, stay tuned.
Awesome. Thank you for having me.
All right, thank you.
If you are just tuning in, this is NBC Sheila Mac Show here on KCAA Radio, the station that leaves no listener behind. I'm your host, Sheila Mac, and we just finished talking to a special guest, platinum partner brother, Dr. Chau, and definitely some incredible information about how to do Airbnb arbitrage, which is really exciting. And I am an Airbnb host, so I want to figure that out as well. It is so interesting to me. Now, you might be listening in and thinking, I'd love to do that, but that startup cost of $10,000 to $20,000 extra, well, that's a bit much. So if you're starting over, I have some great news for you, because I do have some ways to help you, whether you are looking to save some extra money, start a side gig. There's a lot of these places that don't work out. They say they're going to give you a job, or you can make so much an hour or do such and such, and it doesn't work. So I have some links in my Instagram bio at Sheila Mac Show, and I also have links that I will be attaching here using a link tree that will give you some different resources that are tried and true, that have worked for myself or one of my 6 now grown children that are kind of just starting out from college. And it's just a great way to get that money going to start your Airbnb arbitrage, or just to get your savings going this year. And so I'm happy to share that with you. Again, you can find this episode also saved on my YouTube channel, and that's at Sheila Mac Show on YouTube. And the link tree will be there, and it will also be added very soon to my TikTok, which is at Sheila Mac Show. So I hope to help you any way that I can. And of course, this information is actually absolutely free for you. So the links will be added to those places, and I will also be adding that information on the careers tab on my website, and that is www.sheilamac.com. So I hope that helps, and I look forward to hearing about your success. And now I have another special share for you.
Friends, I have a political message for you today. Are you ready to hear about politics? Probably not. So this season in the United States, if you are here, it is political season. So it's very interesting, and everybody's going to vote for somebody, hopefully. So vote your passion. But the most important thing that you can vote for is yourself and your family, your values, and your belief systems this year. So give yourself a vote for time for you, self-care time with your family and friends. Don't just spend your votes watching and listening to everybody else's opinion about what's going on or who you should vote for. You know your values, so vote for you. All right.
Welcome to Dear Sheila. I have COVID credit. How do I rebuild my credit and get out of debt? Dear Sheila, I have been hit hard this year with medical expenses, and my hours got cut due to the COVID pandemic. I'm having lots of trouble figuring out how to continue to pay all my creditors while maintaining enough income to get by. Last year, I also went through a very costly divorce, and now this. So my credit and debt load were already maxed out. And that was when I was working full time. Now my hours have reduced to half. My question is, how do I avoid more credit issues, pay off my debt, and survive right now? Or should I just file for bankruptcy? Signed, COVID Credit Sick. Dear COVID Credit Sick, this is definitely the year for rebooting and reinventing your business and financial life. Many people are also in your shoes, and the good news is that most companies and creditors are more than willing to work with you and renegotiate your debt repayment terms. Let's run this situation through the Boots formula. Throughout life, one can find themselves facing difficult situations that often catch them by surprise. Over the years, I saw the pattern in all the times I've had to reboot and in how I've helped my friends and clients get through a hard time and quickly back into action. Ultimately, I came up with the Boots formula. The B in Boots is for being. It is about who you are being and all you are doing and who you need to be during this situation. You are going to have to be really honest about your current debt and how much money you must reserve for daily needs and a small emergency stash. Who must you be in order to face those bill collectors? And who are you going to be in order to show up differently going forward? This is going to make a huge difference. The first O in the Boots formula is for orientation. In order to get the outcomes you desire, you must be brutally honest here. What are you currently living on? What are your expenses, your debts, and how much do you need to put aside for other situations? What outcomes do you want for your finances? And what do you do for your current employer that you could possibly do as an independent contractor at this time? Do you want to reestablish credit fast and one day qualify for a new home or car? The outcome is to find happiness now while you continue to rebuild your credit and get out of debt. The next O in the Boots formula is for order of operations. Now that you know who you need to be and your orientation, you can decide in which order you must do things to set up a realistic budget based on your current income, stop all non-essential subscriptions and services, call creditors, renegotiate terms, see if you can outsource your skills for a new part-time job, decide what you can do to earn these extra income hours. See, in the long run, the order in which you do these things is really going to drive your results. The T in the Boots formula is for thinking. This is where your mindset comes in. Stop waiting to be happy when all the bills are paid off. Choose to live in a grateful and happy state now. Be proud of yourself for calling your creditors and renegotiating your terms. Somehow, when you shift your thinking and focus on what you are grateful for and what you decide to move toward, the other pieces of life fall into place. The S in the Boots formula is for stepping up. This is the part that puts all the other pieces you have planned into place and gets you and your credit life back into action. The time is now for us to collectively work together to rebuild. My hope is that this video series and my new book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, helps. In my book and on my website, I provide plenty of free resources for anyone dealing with a rock bottom situation to help them reinvent and reboot their business and personal life. If you have a question for Dear Sheila, message me at www.sheilamac.com. As always, I wish you life, love, laughter, and light. Now, my memory, or my first meeting with Napoleon Hill, was actually back when I was 8 years old, and I did actually mention it in my new book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, the formula to go from rock bottom back into action in any situation. This was such a changing point in my life. I was 8 years old. I was living house to house. My family was not, my mother and father were were having health issues. They weren't really able to care for me full time. So I was sent from one relative's house to the other. Sometimes I was with the healthy grandparents. Sometimes I was with a group of grandparents that wasn't so healthy, and there was a lot of abuse going on. And at this point, I was 8 years old. I remember I was actually in a nice neighborhood. Unfortunately, the home had a lot of abuse going on. My mother was home with me for a short time, and I had taken up some little part-time jobs helping out in the neighborhood. So I would literally, this is back in the day when this was, I guess, the normal thing, I would go help out with cutting the lawn or cleaning and actually polishing furniture when people actually did that. And I would go do that for the neighbors and get money. And so I went with my hard-earned money, and I went over to another neighbor's house who was having a garage sale, and I found this incredible book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And at the time, my little 8-year-old mind, okay, this is 8-year-old mind, there was a lot of abuse, and my mother wasn't financially able to, or health-wise able to help me. She had polio as a child, and she had some other issues going on and emotional things, and so it was hard for her. And in my mind, I thought, okay, this book is going to do it, because it is going to tell me how to think and grow rich. And I really need to do that, because I wanted to get my own house or apartment for my mother and I, so that we wouldn't have to be moving around, and she would be in a safe place and I would be in a safe place. And so I took this book home, and I slept with the book. I read the book, Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, from cover to cover. This little 8-year-old girl, I read that book over and over again for an entire year. And I literally still have that original copy with me today. I keep it on my nightstand by my bed, and I still reread it from time to time, and it has been such an incredible gift. And I think that somehow it was something that the principles in there, I took that to heart, a lot of the principles in there, and I really lived by a lot of that, and the idea of creating a definite plan for carrying out your desire and beginning at once, whether you're ready or not. I have Mastermind live weekly courses, and those are available at SheilaMac.com, SheilaMac.com. I have to let you know something, just between you and me. This book is not one size fits all, just like a pair of boots or a bra. So the formula is designed to help you through any situation.
Necessitated. You need a guide to show you how we get through a situation like this, to give you resources and to help you get out of the emotional pea soup fog of dealing with a crisis and the resulting fallout. I've been there, and I'm here to help you. Out of the fog. If you weren't emotionally bound up in your situation, you would have more clarity. You would be able to see your best options for dealing with whatever comes up. If the version of yourself who has already walked through this rock bottom and come out the other end could go back in time and give you, the you right now, some advice, what would she say? Would she tell you to slow down, to stop rushing, that you don't have to have all the answers today? Would the future you recommend not making any major decisions without reviewing them first, particularly while you're still in the fog? Would she tell you that normal is going to look different for a while, but that you will feel normal again? In case we haven't invented time travel by the time you read this book, I'm here to tell you all of the above. I developed the Boots formula to help you learn to make choices have a life shift, and make great things happen based on your individual values and best life vision. A change is going to happen, and it's worth it. There's a stage where it feels like everyone in your life is picking at you. Life itself may seem like it's trying its best to stop you from doing whatever you want to do. All you hear is, "That's a stupid idea," and "That's never going to work," and "Who do you think you are?" One of the hardest things for people to do is to realign and possibly walk away from anything and anyone that conflicts with their value systems. But you are going to discover that power within yourself. Through the activities and examples in this book, you will discover your true north and will be able to easily do what is needed to move forward with your life. Anything that hurts you, that doesn't resonate for you, that fights against what you want and believe in, you are going to give it the boot. Once you have turned your rock bottom moment into a positive, beautiful life shift, you can live your life on your terms. Your life will probably look different, but you get to design it this time. You are taking your life back, and you are in charge, not anybody else. Sooner than you can imagine, you'll be in the career of your dreams or the relationship you always wanted. Because you are going to learn to develop healthy boundaries. Because you are going to do things differently along the way from here to there. You will begin to attract the people, the job, the place to live, all of the opportunities that align with who you are, your essence, your truth, not anybody else's or even society's expectations of the way you're supposed to be. Once you have accepted that you are in charge of living your life and you begin to embody living your truth, people are going to see you. They're going to be inspired by you. Then you're going to hear, "Hey, can you show me how you did that? I want to do it too." When you assess your peer group and up-level according to your life purpose and vision, and once you have created a life shift for yourself, whatever that looks like, your life is not just full, it's fulfilled. Not only do you get more and better sleep, you wake up feeling rested and happy. You know that you're doing what you need to do. Yes, sometimes your heart will call you to leave certain friends or family members in order to find a more aligned peer group. From what I've seen, however, the ones who leave always return to lead their family and friends to success. Because your friends are more in alignment with your beliefs and value system, they support you while also pushing you toward your personal best. Life still involves work, but as a whole, it feels far more effortless. But you don't have to wait for the right person, right job, or right investment opportunity to show up. You can start living now so that every moment as you go forward through the process of recovering from rock bottom and redesigning your life is one more step to being the best version of you, the one who came.
All right, if you are looking to reinvent life on your terms, if you are grieving, experiencing financial turmoil, career shifts, relationship problems, parenting, elder care, victims of abuse, breaking free from an addiction, or seeking an overall business and lifestyle redesign, then you may need a reboot. It is not
Size fits all, just like a pair of boots or a bra. So the formula is designed to help you through any situation.
When is it time to buy a new home and live the life I want? I'm sick of settling. Dear Sheila, I have been moving from rental home to apartment to rental home for about 5 years. Now with COVID, I'm having lots of trouble with my current landlord who comes into my place a few times a week and has removed most of my sense of privacy. The pool and activity room are closed, the gym is shut down, yet my rent remains the same. I feel like I'm stuck. I really want to just buy a house and get out of renting. I found a home that someone is willing to sell at an inflated price, and it really doesn't meet what I'm looking for long term. But the owner is offering to carry the loan, and I just want to get out of the terrible rental situation I'm in. The current landlord said they will be willing to let me out of the lease early for a small fee. My question is, should I move out, buy that high-cost house, or stay where I'm miserable? Signed, Homesick. Dear Homesick, this is definitely the year for rebooting and reinventing how we create and invest in our living spaces. Many people have shown up differently during our worldwide crisis. Sometimes emotions have been exaggerated due to financial or outside stress, and this year has brought much more of that into our home life. Continuing to stay stuck in an unhealthy rental situation is not the answer, and overpaying for a home you don't love isn't either. There is a solution to every problem. It sounds like finding your happy place for now will serve you and your family financially and in the long run. Because your landlord is willing to let you out of the lease, now is the time to reinvent your home life. Let's run this situation through the Boots formula. The B in Boots is for being. It is about who you are being and all you are doing and who you need to be during this situation. You are going to have to be really honest about how you and your family choose to invest in the best living space for the short term and the long term. The first O in Boots is for orientation. In order to get the outcomes you desire, you must be brutally honest here. What are your current living expenses? What new homes are available in your price range? And what living space will best serve you and your family? The outcome is happiness now, without getting into a home that is overpriced. If you shop around, you may find that you can rent or buy something that fits better for the short term and save for the outcome or the home purchase that you really want in the long run. The next O in the Boots formula is for order of operations. Now that you know who you need to be and your orientation, you can decide in which order you must do things to move out, find a new living space, and give yourself the peace you seek now while you take the necessary steps to build your credit or just take time that you might need to purchase your dream home without the emotion and rush of just getting out of a bad arrangement. In the long run, the order in which you do things is going to really drive your results. The T in the Boots formula is for thinking. This is where your mindset comes in. Stop waiting for the perfect home and decide on a home that honors your current family needs. The reality is that in a few years' time, your children will go off to college and your home buying requirements may change. Even though you may continue to rent in the short term, moving to a home that serves your present needs instead of overpaying or staying where you are will make all the difference. The S in the Boots formula is for stepping up. This is the part that puts all of the other pieces you have planned into place and gets you and your home life back into action. The time is now for us to collectively work together to rebuild this year. My hope is that this video series and my new book, Bootstraps and Bra Straps, helps. In my book and on my website, I provide plenty of free resources for anyone dealing with a rock-bottom situation to help them reinvent and reboot their business and personal life. If you have a question for Dear Sheila, message me at www.dearsheila.com. As always, I wish you life, love, laughter, and light.
The Hebo Tea Club's original Pure Pau Arco Super Tea helps build the red corpuscles in the blood, which carry oxygen to our organs and cells. Our organs and cells need oxygen to regenerate themselves. The immune system needs oxygen to develop, and cancer dies in oxygen. So the tea is great for healthy people, and it can truly be miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. A 1 pound package of tea is $49.95 plus shipping. To order, please visit lovemysupertea.com. That's love, L-O-V-E, my, M-Y, super, S-U-P-E-R-T-T-E-A.com. So the complete website is lovemysupertea.com. Or call us at 818-288-4128, Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5 California time. That's lovemysupertea.com at 818-288-4128.
Have you lost your job? Have you lost a loved one? Are you exhausted caring for your parents, for your kids? Well, you can find immediate relief when you read Sheila Mac's new #1 bestseller, Bootstraps and Bra Straps. It contains the Boots formula to move from rock bottom back into action in any situation, especially right now. So if life has knocked you down, pick yourself up with Bootstraps and Bra Straps. Get your copy at www.sheilamac.com today.